Welcome, everybody. It's me, ChipZ, and we're talking One Piece today, people. So this is a new show that I'm starting on my Twitch channel. It's called ChipZ Ahoy, completely original name. And essentially, this is going to be a One Piece live reaction read through of the chapter, the latest chapter, chapter 10, chapter 1040, not 1040, excuse me, as well as a discussion afterwards. And essentially, I know a lot of people do like One Piece live reactions. I'm not breaking new ground here by any means by deciding to do a show like this. But One Piece has been part of my life since like 2010 when I caught up back when I was in high school. I absolutely loved it then, and I still love it today. And, especially during the pandemic, it really gave me a lot of joy to be able to kind of like connect with people online and discuss One Piece with people in a more active way, because it took me years to find, other people who, love this series and have such an attachment and such nostalgia and such reverence for this series to the degree that I do. So it's really, it's been a really great time, talking with people and, the various discords that I'm in. And it's been interesting to see how much like One Piece has kind of like grown in popularity in the West. I know it didn't get off to a great foot when it initially came to the West with the 4Kids dub, although there are some hidden gems in that dub, and I'm sure any real One Piece fans know what I'm talking about with that. But yeah, and it's been really exciting to see like people like Murphy Napier and like I don't know, like a whole bunch of other people who you never thought would be talking about One Piece, just kind of getting into it and loving it. You just see it all over Twitter nowadays, and some of that's for good, some of that's for ill. There are obviously like good things and bad things about a fan base expanding, but I think in general it's been really exciting to see that this series resonates with so many people. Yeah, and you might be wondering like, dude, it's like fucking the series has been going on for 25 years. This is it has over 1,000 chapters. You're a little late to the game, man. What took you so long? And that is a fair and valid question. I will say, and this is some trivia about me in general, but the first video I ever produced for YouTube was actually a One Piece live reaction, a la like King of Lightning or Roger's Base. And those, I've scrubbed them from the internet. You will never see them. They were horrible. I filmed them with like my shitty laptop webcam. It was like, it had like, like a frame rate of like 15 frames per second. And I like recorded it with my laptop's built-in microphone. I knew nothing about producing content back then. Hopefully, I've improved a little bit. I've learned quite a bit over the last like 5 or 6 years since I tried making content like that. And I think this will be a really fun stream. Ideally, at some point, I'd like to kind of, if the stream kind of picks up in viewership, I'd really like to see, potentially bringing some friends on from, various servers. I have various friends I've made online, especially since the pandemic, that I potentially would like to have on the show, or at least kind of, have a discussion with about the chapters in the future. I also have IRL friends who are just now starting to get into One Piece after I've like bothered them about it for fucking 10 years. So, but most of the people who are getting into it now that I know IRL and have known for a long time and have been friends with for a while, also are really enjoying it. So I'm excited to kind of see where this show goes. Obviously, for now, it's just going to be me, reading the chapter. I purposely avoided, normally when the chapter drops, when the scans drop on Friday morning, like at 3 a.m, I'm usually there, like, I have insomnia. I'm usually up at that time anyway. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'll get up and read One Piece, for like 10 minutes and then go back to sleep and talk about it with people during the day. So doing the show is going to be a little different for me because essentially I had to, kind of block myself off a little bit from people that I normally talk to about the chapter, like right when it drops, which is a bit of a bummer, but I'm going to test this out and try doing live reactions at first. If I just find that it's like kind of not as enriching as just kind of discussing in real time, then maybe I'll end up reading first and then kind of, still going through the chapter section by section. But I know other people do that. I kind of want to, like I said, this isn't a super original idea of doing a show like this, but I want to kind of, make it my own and bring my own sort of perspective and personality to it. So I hope anyone watching can get something out of that. And I really hope to be able to interact with everyone who gets into the show. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this chapter of One Piece. So let's see. All right. Okay, so here we go. So it's chapter 1040, or 1040, god damn it, 1040, Falling on Deaf Ears. And right off the bat, this is the only thing from the chapter that I've seen so far, is this cover page. Right off the bat, this is a great cover page, not only because it expands on this kind of, an interesting premise. I'm very curious, like, the end of Whole Cake Island was one of my favorite ends to any arc in the entire series. So seeing more about what happened in the fallout of that has been something I think a lot of fans have been wanting to see, because, like, we saw Jinbei come back, and I think me and a lot of other people were expecting there to be maybe a bit more consequences, or it seemed like there might be at the end of Whole Cake Island. The fact that the Straw Hats had to, like, bail on out of there while their allies were left to die, basically. But it seems like pretty much everyone, including people we thought were dead, like Pound, got out scot-free. So this is great. This is great seeing that there were some consequences. Two of the Vince Smoke boys got absolutely fucked up by Big Mom. And considering what's been happening recently in the manga with Big Mom, which isn't all bad, a lot of it I actually really like, but, it's good that Oda gave her a win right before, he's about to give her a fucking huge L. So I think it's smart for them to go this route. And, just give her a little win. So, to keep her, heavily appreciated by the fans. I personally love Big Mom. Win or lose, she's like one of my favorite characters in the New World, possibly in all of One Piece. I just think there's so much interesting things about her. And she just brings such, like, I've never seen a villain quite like this, is what I'll say. That being said, I might eat my words this chapter with what transpired as of last chapter. So let's continue on with the chapter. A creature that science cannot overcome. That is That's a poignant line. I like that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, we got this panel page, and okay. Cool. Epic. So we got Kid. Oh, God. Okay, so I know it's funny to meme on Kid and be like, Kid's useless, useless Captain Mid, fuck, this idiot. But this, like, just from, like, a visuals perspective, looks so fucking sick. His fucking... I love the way, like, Kid's... I love the way that, like, all of his, like, metal creations kind of have, like, some sort of, like punk, there's a heavy metal motif to, like, everything he does. I love the, like, skull on his shoulder. It looks so fucking cool. Like, he looks like he'd be like a Mad Max character. Him and his crew are basically just the characters from Mad Max. It's pretty, like, aesthetically, I really like Kid. And I like him as a character too. I do agree that, like, it's hard. Like, a lot of people don't like him because he hasn't gotten quite as much focus and quite as much, like, he hasn't got quite as much to do as, like, say, Law, I guess. But, like, I like Kid's tenacity. He's kind of a Naruto. Law's kind of a Sasuke. So it just kind of depends on, which archetype you like more. So, okay, Big Mom absolutely gets fucked by this laser beam. And we're seeing, oh my God, so you can see that giant fucking hole that Law croomed in, fucking creamed his jeans all the way through Big Mom. Dude's sperm is so strong, it just shot a hole straight through Onigashima into Wano that we still can't see the bottom of. And it looks like Kid's about to go ahead and, like, slam dunk her into that with a big ol' alley-oop. This is a pretty cool tag team moment for these guys. So Big Mom, oh shit, she smirked. Is she not done? Is Big Mom, oh holy shit, is Big Mom not gonna lose? I was so sure Big Mom was losing in this chapter. If she's not gonna lose, that would be nuts. She smirks. Kid grimaces. And then she says, "You damn brats." Okay, next. Wah, she wasn't blown away. That's not enough to put her down? Oh my God. Wait, I was like 100% sure Big Mom was going down. Like, in these first few pages, a la, like, King and Queen. If she's still around, that's fucking crazy, man. Okay. Cause I kind of wanted her to do more, but I just didn't expect it. Like, it feels like Oda's trying to like rush to the finish line with this arc, and I can't really blame him. It's been going on forever. So I wouldn't really blame him for wrapping it up in that way. So these guys, you got to be kidding me. She's taking it. Damn it. The two of them are already at their limit. I mean, this makes Kid look like a bitch, which is sad. I thought this was going to be Kid's like super cool finishing move. But I guess it does bolster Big Mom and make her look really cool. So I'm open to see what happens with this. Let's keep going. I'll let you choose your fate. When this attack is done tickling me. Damn, tickling her? Damn, that's so much disrespect. Oh my god. Damn, fucking, Kid just... This man can only take L's. God, I wanted Kid to get a W. Like, I just accepted that Big Mom was done. Like, because they both were using their finishing moves. I was just so sure this was it. This is wild. I did not expect her to survive that. You can either give me 50 years from your lifespans, or you can live on as my slaves. Fuck yeah. God, Big Mom's so cool. Life or slave. Crap. She's using Soul Pocus. Okay. Boss, maybe we should fall back. Okay, it doesn't look like he's gonna fall back. Oh my god, so everyone's souls is getting sucked out by the big bitch. Oh, she's stealing our lifespans too. So there's basically all the beast pirates. Nothing bad is ever gonna happen to like our main characters. We just know that. I'm gonna have a sip of me rum. A sip of me pirate's brew. Alright. She doesn't look like she's anywhere near death's door. What a monster. Damn. God, holy shit. This is blowing my mind, because I honestly expected her to be done. Oh my god. Man, I watch like King of Lightning's reactions to One Piece sometimes. I bet he's gonna like fucking love this. Cause like he was so upset at the end of the last chapter. He's like, dude, if Big Mom goes down like this, like he was like rioting. And like, I personally like, I have mixed feelings, right? Like I want to get to the good stuff with Kaido, and I love Big Mom, but like at this point, like I kind of do just want to see, like, I want to see more of the Kaido fight, just because this is his arc. I'm interested in seeing what Oda does with his character. But like, if Big Mom's not done, let's get a real fight for this bitch, man. Let's do it. All right. What a monster, Captain! We've got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. You guys, go ahead. Wait, who said that? Was that Law? Okay, yeah, it looks like it was Law who said that. So Law's not giving up. Okay, so it looks like it might have been throwing me for a loop. You think the last gasps of an old windbag scare me, says Kid. All right. There's that tenacity I was talking about. All right, cool. So he's about to do our room, which is different from Kroom. This is room, with a, rolling the R's on that one. Your death screeches are doing my ears in. Cool. Good line. Law has some good lines from time to time. Like when he told Doflamingo to like fuck off and like, suck everyone's dick in the entirety of Dressrosa. That was pretty funny. That was a good line. Law has some good one-liners from time to time. Okay. Their souls aren't coming out. She's an emperor, and they're not scared at all. Yeah, so this is actually good, because I remember back in Whole Cake Island, Jinbei stood up to Big Mom, and I remember everyone's like, oh, Jinbei's too overpowered. Like, Jinbei, could never stand up to Big Mom. I'm glad it's being recontextualized that, like, yeah, if you're like a fucking high-tier motherfucker, like a Shichibukai, besides Buggy, of course, or a, or like a super strong supernova, like these two, who are clearly, like, besides Luffy, the pinnacle of that group. And of course, besides our hero, Urouge, the Mad Monk, or Mahdi Monk, as he's well known by the fandom. These guys are at the top of that, at the top of the game, right? So, of course, like, these guys are like, Kid Ass conquers Honky, Law is like a badass, he was a former Shichibukai. Of course they're not, like, fucking afraid, They're fighting her. They've been fighting her for, like, 20 chapters. Like, of course they're not afraid of a big old bitch. All right. She's an emperor, and they're not scared at all. Hold on tight, mama, I'll save you. I'll handle this just like the man who saved my... that's what Law's saying. I'll handle this just like the man who saved my life. And then Kid's like, damn, Emperor, you just don't know when to quit. I'm sending you packing straight to hell. He got a cowboy accent all of a sudden. And then, I remember seeing people saying that Hera looks like Mother Carmel, and that it might be like an incarnation of Mother Carmel's soul, because it's called Misery. I remember some people speculating on that. I kind of like that theory. It could be true. That's interesting. So yeah, like if that ends up being the case, I would actually kind of prefer it not to be explained, and that to just be like, a neat detail that like people who have like been paying attention would notice. I kind of like stuff like that. I like kind of like hints that like if you're paying attention to like the character designs and like little things, you kind of pick up on like some extra stuff. I think that's cool. Rewards an invested and thorough reader. So very cool. If that is the case, and if that is what Oda intended, which it might not be, but who knows. Okay, so we got silence. Oh shit! Oh, he used Corazone's attack. Wait, he can use Corazone's attack? That's weird. I mean, it's interesting, but it is weird. Like, okay, so we know that Big Mom ate Mother Carmel to get her, soul fruit. We definitely did not see Law eat Corazon to get the fucking silent fruit. But are we left to imply that that's what happened? Because that's the only way we've ever seen devil fruits be transferred. I'm obviously just joking, but like that would, hey, that's what Oda's left me to believe, man. Like, what else am I supposed to take from this? Okay. So there's like, there's no noise. Oh yeah, because Big Mom does her big yell, like she did in Whole Cake Island, which blows everyone away. That big fucking yell. So, okay. So, wait, what is... So wait, is her voice like a part of her power though? Like I thought her yell was just like her being so fucking strong that her yell would like, release Conqueror's Haki and like blow everyone away with just the sheer force and sound of like the the audio shockwave or whatever. I didn't think it was like a part of her like something that kept her powered up though. So okay, so Law says this technique cancels out every sound you make. Big Mom says, "What the hell, my voice?" And then Law says, "I can't hear you. Aye, Captain." Oh, no, okay, sorry. Cringe. Okay, moving on. Mama, from Hera or Carmel or whoever that is. And then we got Girl from Law's crew saying, "Captain, look out." And then Kid shoots another beam. Have another. Okay. Damned punk. And it looks like, so Law splits the thing in two. Law splits the thing in two. That's cool. And then Kid, oh shit, so Law not only silenced Big Mom, but he also split the thing in two. That's pretty sick. Like this is a really cool panel. Like I love seeing like the bisected version of Misery. Man, that's a really cool, like just from like an optics or just an artistic design. I really like the way this looks. So yeah, that's really neat. And looks like Big Mom gets hit by another railgun from Kid. Pretty cool. So what happens? So this time, is this enough? Is this going to do it? Yeah, mama! And then her tongue sticking out. Her eyes go white. Is this happening? I think this might be happening. We get a exclamation point, which isn't looking good for Big Mom or Big Meme in this case. Prometheus, Hera, what are you doing? Oh, she can't call for her homies. Oh my god. Yeah, they threw her off the Onigashima before, like when they were fighting on the roof. And the reason she survived that is because, they were trying to distract her homies, but I think Prometheus got away because Zoro was injured from taking the double Yonko attack, which I'm, still bizarre that he would be able to survive that. But whatever, it's water under the bridge at this point, Oda. So Prometheus, Hera, she can't call for them because she's silenced, and Law is keeping up his R room, his R word. He's calling Big Mom the R word, and makes her screech and squeal and fall to her death because she can't call for help. Okay. So, what are you doing? Come help. She's trying to yell for them. She can't. Oh my god. So Yamato is down below and she's like, oh, is Big Mom about to fly into the bombs? No. She's going to take the bombs with her, but the bombs are frozen by Yamato's attack. So it's not going to blow up there. But Big Mom does have fire on her. She has fire on her hair. She's got... Wait, hold on. She can't call for her homies, but she has fire on her hair. Does that make sense? Because I thought it was... She only got fire on her hair when she was using... like when she kind of like fused with like the homies, right? Like remember when in Whole Cake Island we saw that like you can literally see Prometheus's face in her hair. And that's how I thought it was being used. It was like kind of like them like kind of sort of merging with her almost to like create like some sort of like I don't know, like a, transformer or some shit. You know what I'm talking about. Like a mech, kind of. Not a mech, exactly. But like, she's fusing with her other powers to build up her arsenal. So I guess this is confirmed that that's not the case. But where are her homies, though? Where are Hera and where are Prometheus? Like, are they just, like, did they get defeated earlier? Like, why would they not be helping her right now? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't seem to make much sense. Did she fuse them together to create misery? I guess that's possible. But who knows? Okay, so Big Mom, why didn't that make any noise? So she falls through. She makes no noise, and and Yamato is like, "What the fuck? Why is this silent, ginormous lady falling through the ceiling right now?" That's kind of funny. I like that. Okay, wait. So nothing I touch makes a sound. Okay, so this is kind of, like, I like the mechanics of what's happening here, because at the end of the day, they still needed to separate Big Mom from her homies to defeat her. Like, it's still kind of like they're using strategy to win. But at the same time, like, the thing that I'm not a huge fan of is that Law really is carrying the fight, like, between the giant fucking croom he did last chapter, and the, like, silencing thing. It seems like, like, all Kid's done is push her into the basement. I don't know. Like, you want to see a little more from someone who's been built up to the degree that that Kid has. Hey, Fig. No pudding in the cover page. 0 out of 10. Yeah, man. When's my girl coming back? I definitely want to see... I want to see more pudding. I'm actually surprised, like, we didn't get a moment this arc with, like, Big Mom running into Sanji and her saying, like, "You broke Pudding's heart," or some shit like that. Like, I remember, like, maybe that would have been corny, but, like, I kind of like that as an idea, so, I don't know. But good to see you, Fig. Thanks for coming through. All right, so, oh, man, okay, so Yamato does her ice block, Everyone has ice powers. Akuiji, you're obsolete, homie. Like, you got nothing. Brook can do what you can do. Yamato can do what you can do. You're fucking trash, bro. You're gonna get killed by Blackbeard. You're basically useless at this point. All right, so she says, "Wah, stop that. You'll set off the other bomb." So Yamato's whole thing is about saving the people on the island, or on Onigashima. And actually, I like that. I don't know, because like Momo's trying to save everyone who is on the ground. Yamato grew up on Onigashima, so like even if she wants to like not be ruled by Kaido, I kind of like that. It makes sense why she'd want to save it. Like, she was clearly friends with that one number, the third one, the one who's probably Zoro's dad, the centaur guy. I forget his name. And like, I'm sure she like has other, clearly Kaido kills a lot of like pretty much anyone who becomes her friend that he knows about. But like, she's been here for years. It makes sense she wouldn't want like everyone to die in the explosion. Even if it were to like potentially save the flower capital. So like, I actually like, I don't like, that hasn't been explicitly spelled out. That might just be headcanon coming from me, but I do kind of like the idea that Yamato cares not only about saving the people on the ground, but saving the people in the air. So if that's what she's going for, if that's what Oda's going for with this, I kind of do like it, or that's how I perceive it anyway. Okay, so there's a big explosion, because presumably Big Mom just grabs a fucking bomb. And then something happens to Kanjuro's ghostly fire thingy, his last will, and it goes Ooh, Sama. Oh no, Orochi Sama. Okay, I didn't see the Orochi part. Ooh, Sama. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we got. Okay, a big. Oh, holy shit! That's a huge explosion. Holy shit. Okay. Wait. So it wasn't even Kid who finished off Big Mom. It was a fucking bomb. It was a fucking explosion. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I have to. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, so. What's his name? Momo is pulling the island back. Damn it, this is all your fault. Which is, I assume, is what Big Mom's saying. And Momo's like, huh? And then Big Mom's like fucking coughing up smoke. She looks pretty fucked up. She's still silenced. Whoa, she's talking to Gold Roger? Okay. I know we had heard that like they had an interaction once, or like Big Roger. Or Big Mom has had that, Linlin's had that road poneglyph for a long time, and apparently Roger stole it from her at one point. So, I get it. Okay, so are you listening, Roger? Why did you have to go and say all that? Oh, shit. Oh, God. Okay, so what she's actually rebuking him for is not anything he did in, like, interacting with her in the past. Like, it's not something that they actually conversed about. It's she's rebuking Roger for starting the great pirate era in the first place. She's saying, basically, it's your fault these runts set sail in the first place because you said I left everything, my fortune is yours for the taking, but you'll have to find it first. I left everything I own in One Piece. I gotta say, I like the 4Kids version of that better. Having One Piece be like, where, like just misinterpreted as like, oh, he said One Piece, there must be a treasure called One Piece. I like that. That's my headcanon. That was my headcanon. I hate that place. Fuck that place. That place cucks versus in One Piece Chaz. Thank you very much. Okay. Are you listening, Roger? Why did you have to go and say all that? That's a great stinger. If that is Big Mom's final thing in this fight, I'm pretty sure we're going to, like, after the events of this arc are over, I'm very confident we'll see what happens to Big Mom. She's too big of a player just to, like, leave, like, in a hole somewhere. Whether she's, dead, I don't think she's dead. But I do think her power, like, this is gonna, like, she's basically more or less, like, this is the most relevant, besides her own arc, this is probably the most relevant she'll ever be. I don't think we're gonna see her in Wano. I'm pretty sure whatever is gonna be happen with Big Mom, we might see her more in the story, but, like, Wano, I feel like is, Wano, what am I talking about? Elbaf, sorry. Elbaf, I feel like, is probably going to bring in new characters, maybe be related to Shanks in some way. We might get more with Big Mom there, but she's. I feel like I love Big Mom. She's one of my favorite characters, especially in the New World. But there's such a thing as too much of a good thing. I don't like. She just lost she lost 2v1 to like two of Luffy's rivals. But I don't. Oh my God! Wait, sorry. I need to move on because I just saw Zoro laying dead on the ground, fucking cut up, and I need to address that. So we'll talk about Big Mom a little bit after the stream, and just about this fight in general. Okay, so going back, the whole world bought it. Oh, she's still talking. The whole world bought it. The Great Pirate Era. Your time was up, so it didn't affect you. All those brats came flooding in, looking for their chance to shine. And you left us to deal with it. Whoa. Wow, that was a lot more, like, poignant coming from Mom than I thought, and it might not even be over. The least you could have done was tell us about the One Piece before you croaked. It is real, right? Wow. So, that's interesting. That almost implies that, like, Big Mom and, Big Mom specifically maybe had a closer relationship with Roger than we thought. And, like, the fact that she says you could have done was tell us about the One Piece. It makes it sound like there was, like, maybe more of, like, a frenemies thing going on with a lot of these crews. Like, maybe at the time of the Rocks, like, obviously Big Mom and Kaido and Whitebeard allied themselves with the Rocks, but maybe it was, like, kind of like a sort of more of a pirate alliance. Like, maybe it was, like, similar to how a lot of the supernovas have allied themselves with, like, Kaido or Big Mom. They're like, oh, this is the strongest person at the time. We can't beat them on our own, so, like, let's join forces with the winning horse or whatever, like, attach our cart to the winning horse or whatever. Yeah, that's interesting. It makes me wonder, like, how much, like, was there ever an enemy that, oh, hey, Kamazo, Roger quitting without a 2 weeks notice and leaving the holiday rush to his coworkers. Yeah, man, what the fuck, dude? Oh my God, I hate when people do that. When they just fucking dip out, like, last minute, and you have to, like, fill in the gaps, and your boss just kind of assigns you to, all kinds of shit that you weren't prepared to deal with, and that's always when work is the busiest, right? Yeah, fucking Roger, fucking deadbeat piece of shit. He was a deadbeat dad. He was a terrible coworker. But it does make me wonder if there was ever, like, a threat that that Big Mom, like, was there ever an instance where, like, maybe Big Mom and, like, Whitebeard and Roger, like, had to fight against, like, someone who was, like, similar in strength to a Yonko at the time when they were, like, kind of up and comers? It makes me wonder. And it could be possible. I mean, obviously, this is the story, like, One Piece is the story of the golden age of piracy, so obviously there is a, like, the biggest, there's obviously more pirates around now than there were back in Roger's day, but it doesn't mean that there weren't, like, we know that there were, a bunch of guys in the Rocks crew who ended up becoming superstars. So, it's possible, and it does make you wonder. So it is neat. I am interested to see, like, how, I hope we see more in, like, Kaido's flashback or something, man. But honestly, I really like getting these lines from Big Mom. It does make her defeat feel a little less sour. I mean, I had made my bed. Like, I had, in the sense that, like, Oda's been telegraphing Big Mom getting defeated in this arc for, ever since Kid and Law landed, like, a first attack. Like, they're, like, ever since, like, they, Kid was like, she's my prey, and, like, they knocked her off the thing. Ever since Killer took down, what's his name, Hawkins, and Hawkins did the tower, and it was about, like, the changing of the world order. Like, that moment on, it was like, okay, like, I'm pretty sure Big Mom's going down this arc too. I didn't think she was gonna just, like, people were saying she was gonna just leave. When has Big Mom ever, like, backed down from something that she wanted? If she wants Kaido's road poneglyphs, or if she wants to ally with Kaido, if, like, that's what she sees as, like, necessary to achieving her dreams, there's no way she's gonna back down unless she's beaten. Like, she's not the kind of person who would just, like, see Kaido, like, I mean, the only way she would leave without getting defeated is if Kaido got defeated first, and she's like, fuck you, I'm just gonna take your road poneglyphs and go back to Whole Cake. But that would be, like, super unsatisfying, because then our characters would have to go back to Whole Cake and do another road poneglyph sneak mission, or just have another war with Big Mom. It would be far less, like, climactic than what we're getting here. So I way prefer, it's hard to say I way prefer this. I have a lot of mixed feelings about Kid and Law winning here, but at the end of the day, the reason that I don't hate it, and the reason I can accept it and kind of like it, is that it wasn't a 1v1, it was a 2v1. Obviously, like, Big Mom had fought other people, like, she fought Marco earlier in the arc, she fought, like, on the rooftop, she fought Ulti and Page One and stuff, which probably didn't take much out of her, but, like, she's been fighting for a while. Like, obviously, they've kind of established, like, anyone can get worn down, and I remember seeing that panel back in Whole Cake Island when Luffy was trying to figure out a way to defeat Katakuri. He said specifically to Brule, I think Brule was on his back at the time, Luffy was trying to get away, he was, like, running through the mirrors, and he was basically saying, like he was hopping through the mirrors with Brule on his back, and he basically said, Haki isn't finite. If we keep fighting, like, he will run out and he will become vulnerable. But he's like, and clearly, I think that's kind of implied to be, like, sort of what's happening with, like, Kaido and Big Mom. Like, a long endurance battle where you wear them down and multiple people get their licks in on them is the only way to beat someone like this. That's what happened with Whitebeard. That's what's clearly happening with Kaido. And I think it's meant to be implied that that is also more or less what happened with Big Mom. And to me, I think that works. That makes all the sense. Like, it never made sense that Big Mom and Kaido were, like, literally invincible. I've heard people throw that term around. I don't ever remember it being stated that they were literally invincible. They were just obviously, like, fucking brick shithouses who could, like, survive, like, falling off of Sky Island. Like, yeah, that's super scary and super impressive and, like, whatever. But, like, clearly, like, they are still, beings of flesh and blood. They can be hurt. They can be harmed. I like that this arc was kind of focusing on the mechanics of how that can be done. I feel like it was a little bit underdone with this Big Mom fight because Essentially, like, Law and Kid don't have like the particular like hockey thing that Luffy does that allows him to hurt Kaido. But at the same time, I just generally prefer a devil fruit fight to a hockey fight in general. I find it to be more fun, more creative, more interesting. So I'm perfectly fine with things going this way. I'm a little weirded out by like Big Mom getting taken down in this way, but at the same time, like, I like that Luffy isn't the only character who is doing important things in the story. That was like, honestly, like, I remember reading through Dressrosa, and one of the biggest complaints I had at the time was like, that Law was being built up so much in that arc, and his conflict with Doflamingo and his like clear antagonism with Doflamingo, it made it, and like the fact that Luffy's fighting Bellamy and Luffy was fighting all these other people that arc, and the fact that there was even an admiral on the island, like someone stronger than Doflamingo in the arc who is on the bad guy's side, there to help the bad guy, it made me think, like, okay, well, maybe Luffy will fight Fujitora, because Luffy's clearly stronger than Law, even if we hadn't seen that at that point. We're like, yeah, well, Luffy's going to fight the strongest guy there. He's probably going to fight Fujitora. And I was like, okay, so Law is going to get to take his revenge on Doflamingo. And I was like, that's going to be great, because clearly that's like where their history is. Like, Law has like a real grudge against this guy. And like, I was like, dramatically, that would make more sense. Now, people have done analysis on Dressrosa, and there are some good themes going into like Luffy being the one to take down the gods and like kind of knock them off their thrones and like, you know, send the heavenly demon down to earth, you know, fuck him up, you know, break the strings. Luffy's the freedom boy, he's breaking through the strings and whatnot. Like, thematically it's good. It's just like dramatically, like, they were building up that like conflict between Law and Doflamingo so much, so like Law basically getting relegated to basically like damaging Doflamingo a little bit, but then just ending up like being, you know, taking down the snot guy, who was just kind of like a consolation prize. Felt kind of weird. And like, I was annoyed about that at the time, because I'm like, man, I wish Luffy wasn't the only person to ever do anything important in the story, you know? Like, it was the same thing in Sabaody Archipelago, right? Like, in Sabaody, we know that Luffy's beaten, like, he stormed Enies Lobby, which got him a huge bounty. He beat two Warlords of the Sea. He's defeated 2. And we never hear, like, we know that, like, Kid has a higher bounty than him. We know all these other guys are super notorious. But basically, we never hear, like, what Kid did to get that bounty in the first place. Like, did he take on a Shichibukai? Did he win? Did he, like, you know, storm a government facility? Like, Luffy has done things that we've seen and are, like, we know are, like, huge deals in the story. All we know is Kid is, like, you know, like Luffy, but more violent towards civilians, and that's why he has a higher bounty. But it's like, we don't, like, see that. We haven't seen him, you know, we haven't heard that he's taken down anyone else. And one thing I like about the New World is that they kind of, like, Oda kind of has sort of tried to shift that a little bit. Like, the story is bigger than the Straw Hats now, which has some negative side effects, because we don't get quite as much Straw Hat character moments. But the good thing is it makes the world feel more fleshed out. It makes it feel like, you know, our main characters aren't like the only characters like doing important things. Like, it's cool that like that's why I loved like the beginning of Whole Cake Island and like the end of Zoe, where we find out like, oh, Sanji was just like conscripted into a wedding because his family, his royal assassin fucking private military family, and Big Mom have their own machinations, and it just totally screws up the Straw Hats' plans and makes them have to like basically do a huge detour. Because guess what? There are other people in the setting making moves. And like when we found out like Urouge beat like Snack, the Sweet Commander, that was cool. That was like, oh shit, like Snack could like at that point in time we were like, well, Snack being a Sweet Commander, maybe he's as strong as Doflamingo or something. Like you know, I don't know. That's probably not true now, but like, at the time, that was like a thought that a lot of people had. Like, Urouge must be a real badass, you know? And he still could be. Like, I'd like to believe that he is. He's cool. He likes to fuck. He's got a funny smile. You know, he's a real meme lord, that guy. But I like seeing... So, like, that's kind of why I like this outcome. Because Law and Kid have been, like, clearly, portrayal-wise, they are, like, Luffy's rivals. And even if they're not quite as strong as Luffy, you want to see them do things like comparable to Luffy. So I actually really like this turn of events for that reason alone, for the fact that like and a lot of people were saying like, oh well, Luffy said that he was going to come back to defeat Big Mom and that, you know, you're next, Big Mom. And I'm like, dude, like, I get that, like, Luffy says things and he, like, makes promises, and usually, like, narratively that comes back around, but, like, it's okay to not have Luffy defeat every single fucking villain. It's just fine. Okay, Kamazo, thank you for the comments. They don't really talk too much of the pre-Roger era of massive pirates, huh? Every legend was either of a Gold Roger crew member, a Whitebeard, or still alive. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, literally, the Rocks was the first, like, kind of, like, pre-Roger thing, or, like, kind of, like, really the first, like, pre-Roger thing that we really heard about. And, man, I want the Kaido flashback so much. I want to see, like, him being, like, a little fucking runt in the Rocks and just being, like, getting his ass kicked by, Daddy Rocks, whoever that guy is, fucking Zebek, Zebek. Fucking Canadian ass looking motherfucker. He looks like Kenpachi. Rocks looks like, his silhouette makes him look like Kenpachi Zaraki, and that guy's a badass, so I'm sure this guy's a badass too. Okay, Oda pretty much gave Big Mom about as big of kudos as you can in defeat. Final panel of her defeat is being shot with a rail gun and sent hundreds of feet to the ground, and we don't even see her unconscious. Honestly, dude, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, clearly she's fucked up. I know that Kaido's fallen from, like, a really high up place, but I really do feel like she's going to be feeling this. She clearly already is. Like, she's, like, clearly, like, her stamina's low. She's taken a lot of damage. Even if, like, she was like, your railgun just tickles me, like, clearly she's kind of, like, trying to talk a big game because, kid just shot her through the fucking floor and she just blew herself up by grabbing onto a bomb on her way down, which is pretty funny. Like, imagine, like, trying to, like, you're falling down, you're trying to grab for something, you grab a fucking bomb. Oh, that's just bad luck, dude. That's like a comedy of errors. I feel like a lot of people are going to read this chapter and they're going to, like a lot of, like, normie fans are going to read this chapter and they're going to hate on Big Mom because they're like, oh, like, she's a Looney Tunes character until the very end, dude. Like, she absolutely fucking slipped on a banana peel right out of Onigashima. And you know what? I'm actually completely, like, I love that Big Mom is funny because look at it. Like, we know Luffy is super strong. Luffy's also super funny. Like, remember that time Luffy turned his fucking brain off to fight Enel? Like, Luffy, like, water Luffy? Like, Luffy will do something that looks stupid and still be strong, and he'll fuck up, like that time he fucked up against Caesar and got taken out by a guy way weaker than him. Or like the time he stuck his legs in the ground and fucking Arlong. And the Luffy was way stronger than Arlong. Like, Luffy, I don't want to say it's a low dip, but, like, Luffy handily beat Arlong once he got serious. Like, it was, he didn't really get challenged until he fought, like properly anyway, until he fought Crocodile in the New World, in Paradise, in the first half of the Grand Line. But, like, yeah, like, Luffy does dumb shit and then gets, like, because he's an idiot and because he doesn't think and because he's, like, short-sighted and, like, his instincts kind of, like, lead him into messes. Fucking Arlong was just like, I'm just gonna throw you in the water, you fucking idiot. So, like, I actually don't mind that Big Mom kind of gets, like, Looney Tunesed around a little bit, because guess what? One Piece is a cartoony series. It just is. It just always has been. If you don't like that about it, like, what are you doing reading One Piece? Like, anyone who says that shit, I'm like, get out of here, bro. Like, Big Mom has so much personality. She's been a great character. She's had a great arc up to this point. I am curious to see, like, what will come. Like, I'm sure we'll get, like, a stinger of her, like, maybe either after the battle or in like post Wano, post raid stuff. I'm sure we will, because her crew's still around. They have to find her and figure out what happened, So, like, I've been pretty satisfied. And she actually got a lot more stuff than I thought she would, especially in this arc. So, if this is, like, if after Wano, like, that's the end of her relevance, more or less, for the rest of the series, I'm sure somewhat she'll still be, like, talked about and maybe relevant, like, the final war or whatever. But, if this is the last of her major relevance in the story, I'm actually fine with that. I've been very happy with Big Mom for the most part. Like, some of the fight mechanics with her in this arc are a little weird, and I get why people are a little disappointed with her sometimes, but I genuinely, like, the amount of good stuff that has come from her, the amount of, like, good, like, character she has, and, like, how funny she is, and but still how, like, deadly and, like, crazy strong, and, like, how cool her powers are, how versatile her powers are. Like, she's been a really fun character to follow. A great inclusion. One of my favorite, like, New World characters. Probably one of my favorite characters in the entire series. Like, the Big Mom Pirates, I think Nate Bestman has said in the past, like, they are, literally, like, have, like, maybe the best crew dynamic outside of the Straw Hats in the entire series. They are such a cool organization, and them, oh man, and Whole Cake's one of the best arcs, in my opinion. I love that arc. So, Kamaza says, I genuinely remember Luffy beating Arlong immediately after getting freed from the pool. Yeah, well, that's essentially what happens. Like, I used to listen to the Nen Show podcast, which is Crafts Dwarf and Mathwiz's kind of like shonen read-through. And I remember listening to that, and they said something along the lines of like Crafts Dwarf posited, like, Luffy doesn't actually really get pushed in a fight until, like, Crocodile. Crocodile's the first time Luffy, like, actually gets, like, fucked up and actually has to, like be like, okay, this isn't a fucking game. Like, I can't just goof around with this guy. He will kill me. And that's part of the reason why Crocodile is largely remembered as, like, one of the best villains in the series, because he was, like, it was the first time, like Luffy was, like, legitimately close to death, and we were like, holy shit, this guy could kill Luffy, and he is strong enough to do so, and it wasn't even a challenge for him. And, like, Crocodile, fucking love that guy. What a cool villain. Kamazo. Big Mom Pirates saved my life. Yeah, man. They saved my life too. I mean, Whole Cake, it was such a fun arc to read through. His first real opponent, and he lost twice. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Luffy struggled a lot against, what's his name? That motherfucker, Don Krieg. But that's because Don Krieg was, like, using like, he was fighting dirty, basically. And, like, like Luffy has said himself, like, in a pirate fights, there are no rules, whatever. He said that against Katakuri. But we got to remember that, like Zoro said at one point, like, hey, like, Luffy doesn't do good against tricks. Like, Luffy had a hard time with that Miss Golden Week, who would, like, draw, like, who would hypnotize him with her, like, her paintings and whatnot. So, Luffy has a tough time with tricky fighters, and that included Don Krieg. And that's why Don Krieg was the first time, like, he kind of, like, fainted after the fight, because, Don Krieg, like, shot him a bunch when he couldn't attack, and it was once Luffy got close enough to hit Don Krieg and got past his armor, it was over in, like, a few hits. It wasn't like that hard. Like, he outclassed everyone in the East Blue, like, before he even stepped on that little dinghy and started setting sail in Chapter 1. Anyway, I got to keep reading, guys. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate the conversation. So all those brats came flooding in. I'm just looking at the panels because I kind of skimmed the panels just to read the dialogue. So we see, okay, so obviously the bottom of Onigashima is just, like, blown to smithereens. We see Big Mom fall into the crater that Kid made. And it looks like some of the bombs might be falling in after her. Maybe that's just debris. It's hard to say. Like, this right here kind of looks like a bomb. The world, okay, so Big Mom says the whole world bought into it, the Great Pirate Era. Your time wasn't up. Your time was up, so it didn't affect you. I really like that. Like, Big Mom had to live with the consequences of Roger's actions. Okay, so we see Chopper, Hyogoro, some of the other samurai. We see Brook and Robin trying to dance around. We see Zoro just absolutely fucked. So I guess, are we going to see what happened with that Grim Reaper? Like, what the fuck was that? What was the Grim Reaper? Now he's just down. He looks dead. Is Zoro dying this arc? No, fuck. No, of course not. But he falls. He's straight up falling. Okay, Marco is going to save... Like, this is my prediction. Marco is going to catch my boy Zoro. Because Marco didn't get, like, a full fight this arc. He had some impressive moments holding off King and Queen. And, kind of dabbing on them a little bit. But I'm pretty sure his contribution will be rescuing Zoro, which should be fun. I think that'd be cool. Okay. The least you could have done was tell us about the One Piece. Yep, and that's Komurasaki. Orochi's falling over. Komurasaki's still wearing the mask. Probably because she cries every time she plays that song, right? Like, she plays that song that I think it was Odin used to play for her. So I always posited that, like, I think she's probably, every time she plays it, makes her nostalgic, makes her remember the past before her family got killed by Orochi and Kaido. And it makes her cry, and that's why she wears the mask when she plays the song, because every time we see her play the song, she's wearing the mask. That's my theory. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but that's how I've always interpreted that particular thing going on. So, Gua, these guys are on fire. Wait, did what's his name just get defeated? Fucking earlobe boy, giant headman, Marge Simpson. Water, I need water. And, yo, dude, look at fucking Raizo. What a badass, man. I love Raizo. What a badass. He just stood there and took it like a fucking champ. What a cool guy. All right, guys, I'm going to keep reading. I know I will read some comments in a sec, but I just want to get a little further because I think I'm still pretty early in the chapter. I'm only on page 11. Holy shit. Okay. He falls down. Big Mom falls down. She says, what is it? Where is it? So she's asking, oh my God, what is the One Piece? Where is the One Piece? She's okay. She's still conscious. She's not unconscious. She's about to fall into a hole and blow the fuck up. Does this country hold some of the answers? That's what we've all been wondering, dude. It has to. Like, Odin's logbook is here. We have a road poneglyph here. Like, the amount of, like, endgame shit that's happening in this arc definitely, like, it feels like we're in the endgame now, guys. Like, it really does. And it makes me, like, I don't know, man. Is One Piece going to end? Like Oda always says, like, oh, like, another 5 years, another, like, you know, we're, like, 80% of the way through. Like, what if he's actually right? Like, we always say, like, oh, Oda, you're full of shit. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just writing the story that we're all reading. But, like, my guess is that we're, like, probably at least, like, 3 or 4 years out. Like, after the end of this arc, there's going to be, like, you know, whether it be Elbaf or some other arc where we find the 3rd road poneglyph, or the 4th road poneglyph, rather, because one of them's going to be here. And then there'll obviously be, like, Raftel and then a big war where, you know, potentially the red line will get destroyed and the ancient weapons will be used, and Blackbeard and the world government will probably all be involved in that. A lot of people think Blackbeard's going down before that. I personally think Blackbeard will be involved in the final war. Okay, does this country hold some of the answers? It's so frustrating. Kid, Law, I'll never forgive you for this. So they really, like, she's holding a grudge now. You better not think this is enough to kill me. Damn. Emperor Big Mom versus the new generation. Dude. You see, that's one theme in this arc that I really like, is this theme of, you know, kind of like I think that's like a big thing in, like, just Japan in general. Like, that's a huge theme in, like, Jujutsu Kaisen and, like, a lot of other like shonen, like Bleach even. Like, Bleach kind of is about, like, kind of like the ways of the young generation kind of clashing with the old, and like how, you know, like Ichigo and his friends, like, actually influence, like, this old institution, this ages-old institution that is the Soul Society, to change their ways, because he has, like, you know, he's like, you should fight the system. You know, don't fold to the system. If you think it's unjust, fight the system. And it feels like that's kind of, you know, a similar motif to what Oda is doing here, and it's pretty cool. I do like it from a thematic perspective. I think it's very cool, and apparently that's a big thing in Japan right now. Kind of like, young people sort of standing up to not like authority, but like kind of like, you know, challenging old ways of thinking. So that's pretty cool. Emperor Big Mom versus the new generation, live floor battle, victors Eustace Captain Kidd and Surgeon of Death Trafalgar Law. Great job, guys. You did well. All right, we got some comments. Kamaza says, his first real opponent... Oh, yeah, you already read that. Max Cope. Oda spent all his energy writing Zoro versus Death itself. 90 pages, 10 chapters. Where was it? Did I miss it? Did I miss a week? I thought there was no... Well, no, there was a chapter last week. Was it on a break week? He just released that in, like, an art book or something? Oh, man. That's gonna be a flashback. No, it's not. We're guys, like, Oda is, like, on speed mode. Or not speed mode. Oda's on speed, and he's speed running this series, essentially. And he's definitely going to... like, nothing that happens off screen, very few things that happen off screen, we're going to actually see. And that's just something we kind of have to accept. That bothers a lot of people. I probably bothers me a little less, and I can maybe get into that a little bit later, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Kamazo, we can't possibly have an entire lore island. Wano's got to have the answers, or at least the key ones. Another lore island. Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, like, Raftel is going to have a lot of shit, but, you know, what I've been thinking of, I feel like... No, it can't be the case. No, I'm not even going to say it. I was going to say, like, what if, like, Wano is Raftel or some shit, some bullshit? Because, like, there's been so much build up to, like, the answers that are in Wano. I'm like, and there's so much endgame shit happening right now. It makes me like, huh. But no, that would be fucking stupid. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to myself. We're going to keep going. Okay, so these guys are absolutely exhausted. They are fucked. They are out of the fight. They defeated Big Mom! Yeah! This is huge! This is really huge. It is huge. Maybe a bit too huge, but, you know, I will accept it. I think Oda did lay the groundwork for this. You know, I think Oda did such a good job of building up the Yonko as, like, absolute brick shit houses, like, who just could not be damaged by, like, the likes of these young whippersnappers, that it is kind of, like, jarring to see them actually be damaged, and in this case, be defeated. Even if it was a bit of a comedy of errors with Big Mom, where, like, they pushed her off the island, but she kind of, like, fucked herself by, you know, taking the bombs down with her. which I kind of like. I kind of like that Big Mom sort of, she gets pushed off the island, which is what they were originally trying to do, but this time she doesn't get caught by one of her homies, which has been a recurring thing. Like when she fell off the giant cake tower, she got caught by one of her homies. When they pushed her off initially, she got caught by Prometheus. So I like that, you know, the main thing was pushing her off and like letting her fall. And like, she's fallen. The Big Mom has fallen, and she got blown the fuck up and is in a ditch. So maybe it'll just like cave in around her. I'm sure I'd be very surprised if she was actually dead. But I am curious to see what, you know, when we come back to Big Mom, what the hell happens with that. Okay, so they defeated Big Mom. This is huge. This is really huge. Kid Bros, boss. Law Bros, captain. Okay, cool. Moving on. Okay, so, Yamato. Is this Momo? Momonosuke-kun, why is there a hole here? Is that the basement? Yeah, one of these bombs went off just now. So wait, that was only one of the bombs? Those bombs are fucking enormous. Or the yield on them is huge. That was like a fucking atomic bomb. Damn, Kaido's interesting in that he's just been like hoarding resources. Like he just has these, like these are a huge, someone should talk to HR because these are like a huge workplace hazard if you ask me. Okay, thankfully I was able to freeze the others before the whole armory blew. Oh, that's interesting. So she's just right next to him even though he's still outside. That's interesting. The geography of this island it loses me sometimes. Like I like that there are set pieces, and I like that like the left brain versus right brain fight, and like the stage area where, you know, like Law and Kid were fighting Big Mom at the bottom of the island while Luffy is fighting with Kaido at the very top of the island. I think that's cool. I like that there's like, you know, the two battles over here, and the two big battles with like the big executives, and then the two big battles with like the head honchos, like on the top and on the bottom. I think that's pretty cool. Like, it makes me think that Luffy is going to send Kaido like flying to the moon to hang out with an L, because, you know, the fact that Big Mom gets sent down means that Kaido's getting sent to the moon, baby. He's investing in NFTs, and you know, he's going to ride that shit to the moon. Okay, so why is there a hole here? Is that the basement? Yeah, okay, thankfully I was able to freeze the others. I'm glad you're okay. I have a lot on my plate at the moment. Good for you, Momo. I'm very impressed with Momo this arc. He's being a Chad right now. So please listen. Zunisha is getting pretty close now. So what the fuck does that mean? Like, is Zunisha gonna catch the island? Is Zunisha gonna tear down Wano's borders? What is Zunisha gonna do? Zunisha is getting pretty close now. What, you mean the elephant Odin mentioned in his journal? And Momo says, exactly. It committed a serious crime 800 years ago, back when it was Joy Boy's companion. Okay. Honestly, that's not even super surprising. That just like is expected at this point. The elephant was, you know, has been a super like mysterious thing, and it was from the Void Century. It makes sense that it was Joy Boy's companion. It's not too surprising. I think that's it. Is that it? Break next week. Not too surprising either, to be honest. One Piece will resume issue 13 of Weekly Shonen Jump. What is Momo trying to say? So are we going to get like a flashback to Joy Boy in this arc? Because that would be bizarre. I don't think we're going to get that, but that would make Wano literally like the end game of the series. And I don't know. Sometimes I think like Wano is like the second to last arc in the series, when I feel like there should be like at least like 3 more, right? It feels weird. It feels a little strange. But is this the last one? Yes, it is the last one. So we got some colored in pages. That kind of looks shit, not gonna lie. Sorry for whoever done that. Okay, so what's this? Chapter notes. Does this country hold some of the answers? It's so frustrating. In Japanese, the subject is debatable in Big Mom's line about Wano holding something. At a glance, it is easy to presume that it's still the same as from the previous sentence, but we feel that answers is more appropriate given the context of the speech as a whole, since it maintains ambiguity and fits the intent best. Assuming otherwise gives the impression that Wano holds part of the treasure. This impression isn't evident in the Japanese, so the wording we settled on leaves that option open while also accurately conveying the intended meaning of her monologue. Her core frustration with Roger is over the lack of information he left behind. Her dialogue suggests that Wano might hold the key to some of these mysteries, making sure that nuance comes across was our top priority. Good editor good editor note. That is a good, explaining their editorial decision. Good stuff. Kamazo Live says, Oda doing Oda things and presenting an answer to one of our questions. That's true, yeah. With another question. That's a good point, yeah. I love stories that do stuff like that. Like, I know it's fun to shit on Attack on Titan. I'm currently watching the final season. I'm not caught up, so if you are caught up, please, no spoilers. I've heard a lot of people who have read the entire manga really hated the ending and say it like basically ruined the entire series. I don't see how that's possible because the entire series has been pretty darn good. So, but one of the things I really love about Attack on Titan is that it asks new questions at the same rate that it answers old questions. So it will answer a question that is posed to the readers or the watchers with essentially another question. It's like, we have Titans coming in from beyond the walls. Now there's Titans in the walls. Well, why are there Titans? Actually, there's Titans in the walls. Like, so people were asking first, like, what are the walls? Like, why? Like, this is like, not a primitive society, but it's like, okay, we're not. This isn't an Attack on Titan stream. I'm sorry. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. So I apologize if I did by even saying the one thing that I said. I might cut that out in the VOD. Anyway, Kamazo Live, same. I think AOT does its mystery and lore superbly. I agree. And Kamazo, I didn't read the end of your comment, which was, but at least we're gonna find out the crime of the elephant at the same time. Yeah, it makes me think. If we get we got a Roger flashback in this arc, are we going to get like another Roger flashback when we get to Raftel? I'm inclined to say no, or if it is, it'll be something about Roger that we haven't seen yet. It'll be a part of his life that we haven't seen. Maybe like what happened after he left his crew, or something. I don't know. There's a possibility because obviously we got 2 Luffy flashbacks. It's possible to get a second flashback for a character that provides more context. But yeah, man, I really don't. Yeah, like the amount of like lore that's been teased this arc and the amount of like build up to like what mysteries does one hold has come up so much. It really makes me think like, is this like, are we like? I know we're close to the end because we're in an endgame fight with endgame characters, but it's like, it makes me think about like how close are we? Like, are we 2 arcs away? Like Raftel and like end piece, basically? Are we 3 arcs away? Do we have to actually, go to Elbaf or somewhere else? Or like, I don't know, like somewhere else that might have like the final road poneglyph? Or are we just going to read it in fucking Odin's logbook? Is he just going to have like a script of what it said? Who knows, man? Like, I feel like, I don't know how to feel about it. Because in some ways, like, yes, Wano has been built up for a very long time. And it's been pretty good. I have some problems with it, but I've mostly enjoyed it, even just in spite of some of the issues I've had. But man, I'm just like really curious to like what kind of, like, we've already gotten so much information this arc, so much more than I ever expected us to get. So I really don't know, like, are we going to get a Joy Boy or like part of a Joy Boy flashback? I feel like the Zunisha thing has to be like maybe like 3 or like a couple panels, like half a page or like 2 or 3 pages of just like Joy Boy and the tiny baby elephant like talking and something like that. I don't know. But a lot of people have posited that maybe like a lot of people think that like Joy Boy might be like Luffy having like been sent to the past or something, like because the silhouettes look so similar, and like they say like we need to wait till like Joy Boy appears, and some people think that that's less likely to be reincarnation, which I'm kind of hoping that it's not. That'd be pretty trite, as opposed to something like like a time loop of sorts. I could see, like, I know people like time travel is really tricky. It's hard to get right, but like the main thing to note with time travel is that like if you're gonna do it, you have to make it make sense. Like essentially, you like time can't be something that deviates. It has to be like something where like if there is some sort of time loop, it has to be that like this was always how things happened, and now you're just finding out that it's because of a character who exists in the present or exists in the future. So I'm not inherently against some sort of timeline fuckery, because I think that can be done well, and I think it has been in certain media. But can Oda pull it off? If that's what he's going for, I don't know. I also kind of think that maybe someone like people like are like, oh, Luffy must be Joy Boy. what if Momo's fucking Joy Boy? Like, Momo can hear the voice of all things. He can communicate with Zunisha. We haven't seen Luffy do that. We know Luffy can hear Zunisha and understand Zunisha, but Momo actually, like, commands Zunisha. Maybe Momo is, like, and, you know, earlier in the arc, what's her name? Or his name, or, God, I don't know. Yamato said to Momo, you absolutely must survive this battle, because the future of Wano and this world rests on your shoulders. She said that to Momo, like, I want to say, like, this must have been, it was like after, I don't remember exactly when this was. This was like back when, like, Momo was reading the logbook, because, and like they were in like a storage room or something, and Momo was like, he read it, he's like, oh shit, I guess I really can't let myself die after all. Like, I actually kind of think Oda might be building up to Momo being Joy Boy as opposed to Luffy. And honestly, I almost prefer that, because, like, I love Luffy. If Luffy is in some way, like, inherited the will of Joy Boy or inherited the will of someone from the past, I like the idea. But as far as, like, a real, like, prophecy character, I would much prefer it to be, like, a side character or someone like Momo. I think that would be, like, I like Luffy being, like, a bootstrapping young kid. And yes, Luffy has been overpowered forever. He's clearly a very special boy, but I kind of like the idea of it being a heel turn and it not being Luffy who's Joy Boy, but it being Momo instead. I think that would be interesting. Kamazo Live says, I assumed genuinely three more arcs. Elbaf, hopefully, Pirate World War, yep, and Raftel. So that's what I think as well, except my order is that we get Elbaf, then we get like, the World War kind of starts in the background, sort of similarly to how what happened with Reverie, in say, like, and then we get, like, you know, kind of like maybe like a beginning to that with, like, you know, some build up in, like, kind of a pre-Raftel chapters. Then we get Raftel, potentially a conflict with Blackbeard on Raftel. I actually like the idea of, this has been posited by some people, but I like the idea of like, maybe what's his name, Blackbeard, like, either kidnapping someone like Pudding, who we know has the potential to read the poneglyphs if her third eye awakens, if she becomes Joe Rogan and awakens that third eye of hers, or like potentially like someone like Yamato, or someone like I don't know, maybe even Hiyori, who, like, have a, you know, family history of being able to read poneglyphs and stuff. There are other people who could potentially know how to read them. You know, people with connections to, like, Odin and stuff like that. So I like the idea of, like, Blackbeard finding his own way to Raftel, getting there after Luffy and his friends, like, learn the true history and, like, see what's on Raftel, see what One Piece is. But then, like, maybe there's, like, an ancient weapon there, and Blackbeard comes in and he's there for the wrong reasons. They're there for the right reasons. He beats them there, you know, takes the fucking shit, you know, goes to start his own war with the world government, or become, like, the big player in that World War saga that's still ongoing. And then Luffy comes in and, like, basically, like, you know, allies with, you know, the good Marines like Drake and Smoker and, like, Aokiji, people with, like, the best interest of the world at heart, the best interest of the people of the world at heart, and that being, like, the final conflict. It's like a three-way conflict between, like, the world government and Eam, and, like, the CP0 guys, the good side of the world government, the bad side of the world government, the revolutionaries, Blackbeard, and, like, Luffy and his allies. I could see, to me, that's, like, a bit more satisfying, but again, I know a lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people want to see Blackbeard be, like, the final, like, guy to fight before the world government. I just have, like, larger, like, Blackbeard's been built up in such a big way as, like, a correlate to Luffy. Kind of like the dark side of Luffy's, like, will for freedom and, like, desire for people to be free, like, and to, you know, have the freedom to choose in their own life. Like, Blackbeard is, like, kind of like the embodiment of chaos. Like, he, like, wants to thrust the world into, like, darkness, basically. Like, he is, you know, like, you know, he takes it too far, essentially. Luffy's just like, listen, man, I just care about my friends and, like, people that I like. You know, you can have all that bullshit about your philosophy about wanting, you know, the world to be, you know, going back into Darwinism or whatever, while the world government is, like, you know, complete order, fascism, stuff like that, you know, wiping people's memories of history and whatnot. Or we could just get, you know, no, I'm not gonna spoil Attack on Titan again, sorry. I was going to posit a different ending based on what's happening in the Attack on Titan final season right now, but that's not happening, and I don't want to spoil anything beyond the stuff in season 1 that I already kind of accidentally spoiled. So I'm sorry if anyone heard that and took anything away from that. Kamazo says, won't give the whole manifesto, but Luffy not being Joy Boy is a good thing for the narrative. I agree, man. I hope that's what we get. I mean, we'll see. If he is Joy Boy, like, I'm kind of hoping Joy Boy is more of a title than like a reincarnation sort of thing. If Joy Boy is more of like a person fills a role and they do something that makes them Joy Boy, like that would be, I think, more satisfying. I don't like the idea of there actually being reincarnation in this series. Or if it's like a time loop, that's tricky to do right. Oda, I don't know if I have confidence in him being able to do it well, but maybe he could. I don't know. I like the idea that Momo is Joy Boy more. I'm going with that until I'm proven wrong. Or I'm hoping that that's where Oda goes. We'll obviously see what happens. We're along for the ride. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining the stream. I'm surprised. This is my, I only started streaming on this channel like earlier this week. I'm playing, Sifu. I'm basically doing variety gaming on Tuesday evenings, starting at 7, usually going to like 9 or 10. And then I'm doing, I'm planning to do these One Piece live reactions and read-throughs and discussions basically every week that there's a chapter. Obviously, like if I can't make a Friday work, I might like do like a Saturday discussion instead, like a Saturday morning type of thing, get like some cereal, get some coffee or whatever and chill out. But I want to start doing this regularly. Talking One Piece is like something that I love to do. It's brought me a lot of joy, especially in the pandemic, and getting to speak with, people like the people who commented today and got to be a part of the stream has always been like super fun. I look forward to kind of being able to do that with more people now that I have my streaming setup going. And so expect to see this basically every Friday. We won't be here next Friday because there is no chapter. I definitely am excited to do more with this. So thank you all for joining me. And with that said, I'm going to say adieu for now. But I'll see you guys in like 2 weeks or next week if you want to watch me play Sifu. All right. See you later.